In the last lecture, we discussed about different types of camera. We have also learned where these cameras are used and what are the specialties. Now you can choose the camera according to your need. Along with selecting the camera, it also becomes necessary that we can handle this camera easily. By the way, moving the camera and mastering, it requires a lot of hard work and practice. But you can be able to use the camera after gaining some basic informations. These basic things will be discussed in this lecture. Information about the basic parts and function of the camera will be given so that you can handle the camera easily. Now talk about the different parts of the video camera. Mostly camera include some basic parts like lens, viewfinder, control buttons, shutter, aperture and other functions which we will discuss further. So let's start with first part of the camera is lens. In the camera, lens is very important part. Light will enter into the camera through the lens. There are many types of lens available in the market. Anyone can buy any lens from the market. These can be two types. One is fixed in the camera, other is interchangeable. Lens provide functions to control zoom, focusing, aperture, focal length and depth of field. As per your requirement, you can choose these lenses. Next is viewfinder. Viewfinder is where a person see the whole view which you can record or you want to record. Viewfinder is available in all cameras, but many of today's digital cameras have replaced the typical viewfinder with an LCD screen. Now we'll talk about camera body. In camera, body take place a big contribution towards the work. Different kinds of camera bodies in different size and design are available in the market. Next is capturing device. At present, most of the camera using memory card for video recording. Before that, the cassette, DVD, CDs was in practice. The memory card kept all of the information regarding images, audio and videos. Memory cards are available in different sizes and speed capacity. Now talk about user controls. The controls in each camera will vary depending on the type and model. Basic consumer camera and mobile camera only have settings that can be used for different environment, while DSLR and professional camera will have multiple control for automatic and manual along with custom settings. So this is all about basic parts of the camera. According to the need, other devices can also add with these cameras. We'll discuss further in camera accessories section. Now let's talk about the camera functions. Most of the video camera can do almost everything automatically. A need to do is turn on them, point and press record. In most situations, this is good, but automatic functions has some limitations. If someone wants to improve the work environment, must learn to take control of the camera. This means using manual functions. In fact, professional cameras have some automatic functions and professional cameramen normally never use autofocus or auto erase. So here are some basic functions. Firstly, we'll talk about video camera zoom function. Two most common zoom functions are manual and button. Manual zoom is a ring on a lens that is operated by hand with the help of left thumb and forefinger. Speed is fast, don't require the power of battery, but difficult to control, harder to get smooth zoom. Second is zoom button. This is tele and wired button on camera. Easy to use in most situations, a nice smooth zoom, but battery power is required and may be limited to fixed speed. Next function is video camera focus. Focus belongs to sharpness. A visual that is fully sharp is called in focus. A visual which is completely blurry is said to be unfocused. There are two types of control, one is manual and other is autofocus, which is the setting in the camera that instruct to the lens to focus on a subject. There are various types of autofocus, that is single AF, continuous AF, multi-area autofocus. Then second option is manual focusing. It was the original method of focusing before autofocus. By rotating the focus ring, which moves the lens elements and the user achieves focus. This method is particularly useful for close-up or for low light situations where the autofocus fails. As the lens is focused, the image in the viewfinder will become clear, but there are a lot of situations where you don't really want the entire visual to be in focus. For this, deep focus and shallow focus techniques are here to support you. It is all about expertise and your creativity. Now, video camera erase. People often get confused between erase, aperture and exposure. Here are differences in a nutshell. The iris is the part of camera that has an adjustable opening to allow light to enter and fall upon the image plate, that may be the sensor, CCD or film. And the aperture is the size of opening in the iris. Then exposure is the amount of lighting falling upon the sensor. Professional camera have an iris ring on the lens housing, which one can turn clockwise to close and anti-clockwise to open. Consumer level camera usually use either a dial or a set of buttons. Now let's talk about exposure. Exposure determines how light or dark the image or visual will be appear when captured by your camera. This is determined by three camera settings: aperture, ISO and shutter speed. For this function, the most camera have auto function and professional camera have an additional feature which can help to adjust exposure. And some cameras are available in the market which has a black light features. Now the next point is video camera white balance. The white balance is usually called color balance. Most consumer level camcorders have resource auto white balance, and that is how most amateur work. There is also manual white balance process. After this process, the camera will keep your current color balance until another white balance is made. For this, there should be a white balance button or switch on the camera. Point the camera at a pure white object that must be rather dull or non-reflective. Set the exposure and focus. The camera can take a few seconds to complete the operation for white balance. Next function is video camera shutter. The word shutter comes from the still photography. This works quite differently in movie cameras, but the result is essentially the same. A shutter is a mechanical door between camera lens and the film. In professional video cameras, with the help of shutter speed button, you can manage the situation. Along with this main functions, there are many other tasks which are done through the camera settings. For example, the aspect ratio. It means your video will be made in 4.3, 2.3, 4.3 or 16.9 ratio. It depends on how you want the real output. Nowadays, full frame video is also in trend. Now let's talk about audio. Many cameras have fixed mic for voice recording and many have extension for separate mic so that you can use a separate mic. You can set the mic level by going to the audio setting in the camera. Along with this, the option of headphone is also available in camcorder so that you can monitor the voice recording with the audio. Along with this, recording formats such as MP3, MOV, FLV, video resolution like HD, Full HD, 4K and recording standard, that is PAL, NTSC, CCAM are also taken care of, which are decided before shooting. So this is all about the basic functions of the camera. Different links and references will be provided to you know the camera functions in more detail. Thank you very much.